Watch out for me, I'm about to glow.
Hey, what's up you guys? So today I filmed 3 different looks for you that I thought would be super easy to achieve for prom. I did a classic glam, a simple glam, and a full beach like what I have on right now. So I hope you find this video useful. I hope you enjoy the video. And yeah, thank you for watching and let's get into it. Hey, what's up you guys? So to begin, first of all, hopefully you're starting off with a fresh, clean face that is moisturized, okay? That is a rule of thumb. But anyway, the first thing I'm putting down is the L'Oreal Lumi Glotion. I swear by this stuff. I wear it even when I'm not wearing any makeup. It just gives you a really pretty glow from within. And then for foundation, I'm using the L'Oreal Infallible 24-Hour Fresh Wear. It just gives such a pretty finish. It's not too dewy, it's not too matte, it's just gorgeous and it's buildable. So for this tutorial, I do a pretty light application of foundation just because that's what I prefer. I like to kind of see my skin, but this foundation is definitely capable of going to a full face and it still looks absolutely amazing. It doesn't get too cakey or anything like that. So if that's what you're looking for, I would recommend this foundation for sure. And I'm using the Real Techniques Beauty sponge to blend it all out. You can use a brush if that's what you prefer, either or. Don't matter. This was what I prefer, again, just because I like kind of more natural finish. For concealer, I'm using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer mixed with this Maybelline concealer. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now, but I'll have it listed below. The only reason I mix it is because the Camo Concealer is an awesome concealer, but it's just a little too dry for me. I want to avoid any type of crepiness. So yeah, I put them under my eyes because I need a little extra coverage there. And also I put it more on the center of my face just to kind of bring light to the center of my face, yeah. And then in a little bit, I will set my under eyes with a translucent powder. I don't personally bake. You can bake. I wouldn't recommend it if you have dry skin. Again, just to avoid crepiness. But yeah. For my brows, I'm using the CoverGirl Brow Pencil. I love this. I'm in the shade Soft Brown. And as you can tell, for the most part, I'm using very affordable drugstore products. I just wanted to keep it, you know, more open to everybody because I'm sure we already are spending a pretty penny on our dresses or our tuxes, you know what I mean? So yeah, and also some of these things are holy grail items regardless if they're drugstore or not. But for bronzer, I'm using the Maybelline City Bronzer, and one of my all-time favorite brushes ever. I want to be buried with this brush, the Morphe M509. It just applies your bronzer or contour so effortlessly and so like airy, like airbrush. It looks so pretty. Oh, I love it. I love it so much. I apply it, you know, to the contours, to your forehead, a little bit on the nose, just to make sure everything is nicely simulated together. Is that the right word? Probably not, but just to make sure everything kind of goes together nicely. For highlight, I am using a Maybelline highlight. I forget what it's called. You probably have it if you heard about it because it's so nice. And I mixed it with the MAC Soft and Gentle highlight, and I applied it with my beauty sponge. I just love how highlight applies with a sponge. It's just, I don't know, again, glowing from within more so than just like sitting on top of your skin. And then for blush, I'm just using a mauve shade from a Morphe blush palette. And I tapped out my under eyes just a little extra to make sure no creasing, and then I just set it with some translucent powder like I mentioned before. And then I just sprayed my skin with the Maybelline the Milani Make It Last setting spray and just kind of tapped everything out with the sponge. For eyes, I am using the Dose of Color DESIXKATY Friendcation palette. This is
literally one of the best eyeshadow palettes ever. It is an everyday for me. I highly recommend it, and I use it for this whole video for all 3 looks. But for this one, I'm using Basic and Necessary mixed together. You don't have to mix them. You could use either or depending on your skin tone. If you're using this palette in particular, I just like to mix them, and I put them in my crease, just quickly buff them in with the Morphe M535. This kind of just contours your eyes a little bit and just gives them a little bit of color opposed to just leaving them plain. Yeah, this is more of the simple look, but still, you gotta put a little some for prom. And then for the inner corners, we are going to take the Morphe M149 brush and the shade Just a Kiss from the Friendcation palette and pop it right on the inner corner. This is one of my favorite eyeshadow colors ever. It's so pretty. It's just like the name suggests, Just a Kiss. It's so pretty. It's like so dainty. You're like a little fairy princess when you pop it on your eyes. And then I'm putting on the L'Oreal Voluminous mascara. You could put on some lashes if you want. I just rock the natural lashes. I don't know, it's just what I've been preferring lately. You know, it's all about what you prefer, you feel me? For lips, I kept it nice and sweet with a little lip liner, and then with a Bare Minerals matte liquid lipstick in Slay. And then I just popped a little Rimmel Gloss on top. And then I sprayed everything one more time with the Milani Make It Last setting spray. I put a little extra highlight on the décolleté. Take a little sip of coffee, and you're done. And here's your nice, natural, simple prom makeup look. Next is more of a bold, classic look. I'd used everything the same pretty much, just adding a little bit of eyeliner, and I'm using the Maybelline, I think, Infallible cream liner. You could use a liquid liner, or you could use eyeshadow if you don't want it to be as bold, if you want it a little bit more subtle. Yeah, I don't know. I just did this look because you can't really go wrong with a classic glam. I don't really know what to say during this because it's kind of hard to tell you how to do a wing liner. So I'm just gonna sit here with you and watch me put it on. But then you'll notice in the next one, I completely mess it up. It's kind of comical how bad it is, but I didn't really have no time to completely fix it. So we just rocked it. But hopefully for prom, you do take the time to make sure they're kind of as symmetrical as possible. Yeah, just take your time with it, and I'm sure you can get it down. Yeah, this is just me like kind of trying to finesse it, make it look good. And then also I added a little bit more of that Just a Kiss, but I sprayed the brush this time so it was a little bit more vibrant, and I added it a little bit under the brow bone. And now I'm just adding some red lip liner. I think it's the cherry lip liner from NYX. Some lip colors that would look dope with this look would be like a blue or a brown or even a bright pink. Something bold would look so nice, but I just went with the classic red just to, you know, I don't know, give a nice little example. But yeah, this is one of my favorite looks as well. Honestly, all 3 of these looks, I don't know which one's my favorite. I like feeling like Marilyn Monroe with this look though. I do love that. But yeah, here's the classic glam, super simple as well. And here's the one that's a little bit more, I don't know, full glam, like I explained it to be like a full beat in the intro, but it's really not that crazy. It's just a little bit more extra, I guess. But I put down soft ochre paint pot to kind of just ensure that the shadows will last me or you all night. You could just use some concealer, but yeah, I just decided to use that. And I'm again using the DESIXKATY Friendcation palette and starting off with basic and necessary, buffing it into the crease using, again, the Morphe M535. My only really tips with blending your shadow is always put down a transition shade like this, and as you're going upwards towards the brow and brow bone, just loosen the pressure on your lid with your brush. So first put down a lot of pressure right in your crease, and then as you're moving and buffing your shadow and brush upwards, just kind of lift it off your skin a little bit, and that will just really ensure that you're gonna get a nice gradient effect. Next, I'm taking the shade Churro on a Morphe M433 and just place it kind of on the outer V and the crease. I'm buffing that in, and as you probably saw, I kind of rubbed some color off on the back of my hand. I just do that to make sure I don't get any muddiness. Less is kind of more with shadow. So if you feel like you got too much product on there, just wipe it on your hand or a napkin or something like that, and that'll just help with the blending as well. And then another thing with blending, here's just all my tips with blending, is take either a clean brush, or I'm taking that big brush that we used prior, the M535 once again, and just kind of marrying those colors together. And then next, I'm taking the shade Cheens, which is a bit darker. It's very dark, actually. It's a very nice, dark, rich brown. Placing that right on top of where we put Churro, and a little bit kind of towards the lash line. Again, wiping off any extra product on the back of my hand, just to nicely blend everything out. And see how nice and depth that shadow gives? I wanted to avoid a black because, I don't know, with pictures being taken, I feel like black just would not look good, and you could still get a nice rich eye with just a brown. So I mean, you could use a black here if you want, but I would avoid it personally because I don't know, I feel like with a picture black just wouldn't carry as well. So here's me just adding a little bit of that basic shade just to furthermore the blending, again taking it on the more fluffy brush just to make sure all the colors nicely marry together, and just blend till you can't blend no more. Make sure there's no skipping. Like I mentioned before, you could just take a clean brush if you want, just to really buff everything out. But yeah. And then I just took that same shade on a little fluffy brush. It's the Morphe M501 on the lower lash line. And then I'm putting just a kiss all over the lid, tapping it out with my ring finger. Oh my god. This shade, oh, this eyeshadow look, I don't even know. I love it so much. It's so it's sultry, it's sexy, but it's so easy to achieve. I don't know. I think this is my favorite one. I've come to the conclusion this is my fave. And then for the lips, I of course lined them, and then I put on the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick in Nudist. And then on top of that, I add a little bit of Maybelline Vivid Hot Lacquer right in the center, in the shade Tease, just for a little bit more plumpness, I guess. Tap it out, put a little bit more blush, give it a little bit more color. This is the shade Berry More from Milani. And that's everything, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I surely enjoyed filming it for you. I hope you found some look from it, some inspiration, something. And I hope you have an amazing night at prom. Bye.